Welcome back, folks. With me, Phil Tura. You're watching the final part of the Megaman X playthrough, and we're on the third level of Sigma's Fortress. And I gotta say, I kind of like this music for this one. So, we're gonna go ahead and do our first Maverick rematch of this level, which is gonna be against Armored Armadillo. I can never say his name real fast. Armored Armadillo. But I'm not gonna be able to Hadouken him. I'm forgetting that his armor protects him even against a Hadouken. So we're gonna go ahead and use his weakness against him. Spark Manjo's weapon, the electric spark, I think, or electric shock. I forget what it's called. Future Phil feels like he can go and add the name right there, but just use the weapon. He falls to it really quickly. We're almost done with it. One more shot should we do it? Two more shots. I mean, there we go. Oop, he's all gone. But we're gonna fight probably the largest number of boss rematches here. I think there's like 3 or 4, I think. So we took out one, and we're gonna have another one right here right away. But hey, let me get the extra life right quick. And then we're gonna go ahead and take out all these mining bots. Thankfully, we got all that health, and then we're getting all this energy. Let's go ahead and go here, and we're gonna take out Sting Chameleon, and then also beware there's spikes on top. So make sure you don't get hit by that. And since Sting Chameleon is a little bit hard to use the Hadouken I'm going to use the Boomerang Cutter. Again, try to use the Boomerang Cutter when you're on the ground. That way it arcs upward. But Sting Chameleon, not very difficult. Just go ahead and just spam the Boomerang Cutter. I guess one way you could use the Hadouken, assuming that Sting Chameleon doesn't have invincibility, for instance, when you knock him down with the Boomerang Cutter, if you're really quick with your button input, you could Hadouken him like while he's on the ground, or if he drops down on the ground of his own volition. But we're done with that. We're going to continue on, and we're going to get to the next one, which I believe this is Flame Mammoth. And then those items right there, you can use the Boomerang Cutter to grab those. Like I said, the Boomerang Cutter has a little bit of utility here. So go ahead and grab that, and we can go ahead and refuel our Boomerang Cutter, because that's good. The weakness of the actual boss this level. Oh no, I was wrong. It's Spark Mandrill. So since I'm gonna try to Hadouken, I miss, and he Goomba stomps me. So that was a shame and embarrassing. But we're gonna Shotgun Ice him, because he's still very easy with Shotgun Ice, and we're gonna stun lock him really, really well here. Yeah, I can't help but make sound effects about Spark Mandrill. Very boring boss fight if you got the timing down. Or it would have been a lot more interesting with Hadouken him. But where I don't think we're going to Hadouken any more bosses, I think, sadly. To my dismay. But even if I could Hadouken Launch Octopus, which is our next boss, I wouldn't do it because I want to show off the cutting off of his tentacles, because, you know, yeah, I'm morbid like that. But go ahead and get whatever stuff you want, but I want to go ahead and refill my Boomerang Cutter, because I need that in order to cut off the tentacles of Launch Octopus, but I also need it to cut off the trunk off of Flame Mammoth, and then also for the boss, which is, we'll get to that boss when we get to it. But Launch Octopus, very, 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 I think out of all the Mavericks, honestly, I feel, even with his weakness, Launch Octopus is probably still the hardest Maverick, I feel. I think he just has so many attacks that just go all over the place. His torpedoes, the piranhas. But since we cut off his tentacles there with the Boomerang Cutter, we can go ahead and spam the Rolling Shield. I forgot what it's called, mainly because I don't like it. But he, when you take off the tentacles off Launch Octopus, he does not have access to all the abilities he has. He just is just going to end up spamming his homing torpedoes, which don't really even home. So with that, he's done, and then we will move on to the next boss. I really love this music. So go up here. We're gonna go here, and then you could get that stuff up top if you really want to. You could have X. I think you could surf on the Chill Penguin charged version of the weapon, I think, but I've never really done it. And even then, you could just use the Boomerang Cutter to grab that stuff if you really wanted. We're gonna go here and we'll take on Flame Mammoth, which I believe is the last of the bosses. I think we took out 5 bosses actually in this level, 5 rematches. So if you use the Boomerang Cutter, you can cut off his trunk, which is kind of useful because then he can't use his trunk to spew fire or oil, but he still has his arm cannon, so I already cut off his trunk there. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the Storm Tornado, which he probably would have been the absolute easiest boss to Hadouken because he's so big, and he doesn't really jump at the very beginning. He only jumps like towards the middle or after you took out his trunk. I feel like he spams the fireball and the jump a lot more without his trunk, because for a reason, no trunk means he's just going to go ahead and just jump. So with that, we're done with Flame Mammoth, and then we're going to roll our way back to the back of the door. He's done. So now we're going to fight the real boss of this level, D-Rex, which is a giant, well, car with, I like that little dance I did there, a car with a T-Rex head, let's just say, and the boss hits really hard. You don't want to get hit by this thing as far as contact damage, because that's his main method of damage, and the Boomerang Cutter is the weapon to use that will do the most damage. You could use the X-Buster, but you just want to take this thing out as fast as you can. Like I said, you don't want to get hit by this thing if you can avoid it, or getting slammed against the wall. But it is really easy to get a little bit confused on where to go, like how you're going to avoid, especially when it's going really fast. But with that, we're done with D-Rex. Really easy. If I had gone one more phase with him, I would have used an energy tank for sure. But with that, we're done with Sigma level 3, and we can begin going to Sigma level 4, which I believe that is the showdown with the big bad man himself, Sigma. So we're going to save our game, and then we are going to go to Sigma's level and finish the fight. So one thing that I hated as a kid, I did die here after getting to Sigma's, spoiler alert, second form, and then I had to farm all the HP in the world from these caterpillars on the side. That's not fun, so try not to do that. So we're going to get up here, and again, I'm going to try to Hadouken the mess out of his little dog here that he's going to sick on us. So he's going to be very impressed we made it this far, and he could destroy us, but he's not going to rob his pet of his pleasure. So, the dog's name is Valgarder, I believe. He is weak against the shotgun ice, so I'm not going to be able to Hadouken him as much as I tried right there. But we can at least shotgun ice. And he's low enough to the ground, or high off enough off the ground where shotgun ice will hit him, so we don't have to worry about that. And I feel that Valgarder has a pattern kind of similar to Sigma in the sense that he bounces off the walls like you see there, because that's what Sigma's main method of attack is for the first phase of his boss fight. I guess technically this is the first phase of the boss fight, so I guess you could say Sigma has 3 phases here. So with that, we take out his mutt, and then what we want to do is we want to use the electric spark to take out Sigma in this form. Excellent job, X. I could see why Zero counted on you. You are almost as good of a hunter as I am. But the time of your destruction has arrived. You shall regret ever standing against me. Jedi? Anyways, this music is probably my favorite music in the entire Storm Eagle is still my favorite, but if I had to put this against everything else, this is probably my second favorite track. But Sigma is going to bounce off the walls right here, and I'm going to do absolutely horrible in my opinion, but he's going to bounce off the walls, and then when he gets to the very top is when you want to, when he gets close to the very top, that's going to be when you want to drop down, and then shoot him as you're going down with the electric spark, and you can get at least, I would say, 2 good hits with him. If you do this pattern, assuming you don't mess up like me. If you stay on the ground, he'll shoot little eye lasers at you, or face lasers, whatever you want to say. But this is basically Sigma's pattern right here, and you can just manipulate him by staying on the wall. And this is the safest way to take him out, in my opinion. If you had the Hadouken and you took him out that way, then you can skip it all the time. But I would at least want to show the fight. So with that, Sigma's defeated, or is he? No, and then he runs right into where Sigma's exploding. What's to stop Sigma from grabbing him and blowing up like Zero did? But now we're going to get to the last part of Sigma, Wolf Sigma. And those claws absolutely do hurt, so do not touch underneath them, because they will hurt a lot. and he has a lot of attacks. The claws will shoot electricity above and below him, so you don't want to stay too high, or you don't want to stay on him for too long, and you don't want to stay underneath him. And then the wolf head will shoot electricity bolts, or electricity balls I should say, and it have a flamethrower. If I had to pick my poison like that, I don't get hit by the claws. The claws hurt a lot. He's weak against the rolling shield of all things. But if I had to pick my poison, I think I would rather get hit by the electricity than the claws. The claws do the most damage. And then rolling shield only does 2 points of damage, but it is his weakness. So you want to be absolutely certain you come in this fight prepared and you have an idea what to expect, because this fight will hurt a lot as it drags on, because Sigma's attacks do not tickle in the least bit. There's not an attack that really does a little bit of damage. They all do good amounts of damage. I think right there I can take one more attack and then I have to use an energy tank. So I'm on my last energy tank there that I can use. But luckily his HP is almost all gone, so we have that. But yeah, rolling shield most definitely the way to go. One more rolling shield should be enough to take him out. And I'm getting a little bit hasty right there, but that's it. Sigma's done. We beaten the game. No! It's not possible. I'm a Reploid. I cannot be defeated by you. Why, X? Why have you done this to us? Without the humans, my Reploid brothers could have ushered in a new age. X! And then we get the typical Megaman X looking out into the distance, pondering what his next mission is going to be, while the whole Sigma's Fortress goes in the background and explodes. I really like that effect. But yeah, so that's the end of the game. And then we're going to get a little bit of, I guess, internal monologue here with X. But yeah, so what did this victory cost X? Well, it costed him 0, which it's not really established that him and Zero are like besties here. It's more established. It's kind of like more established in my opinion that Zero is more of like a mentor to him than a bestie. But I guess him losing his mentor caused him to be exhausted, and he gazes at the destruction he helped cause and wonders why he chose to fight. Was there another way? And it's going to be a thing with Mega Man X that I kind of do and I don't like, is this internal battle with himself about like, should he fight, should he not? Because he's kind of a pacifist at heart, but the situation ends up making him a super fighting robot Mega Man X. So, but yeah, but standing on the cliff, the answers seem to only escape, and he knows that he'll fight the Mavericks again before he finds those answers. How long will he keep on fighting? How long will the pain last? I mean, maybe only the X-Buster on his hand knows for sure. But I would say out of the Super Nintendo trilogy, I say it's a safe bet this is my favorite one out of the 3, like it is with most people. A little bit of spoiler, I've had to play the mess out of Mega Man X2 more than I care to, but my opinion on that game softened quite a bit. But we're absolutely done with Mega Man X, unfortunately. One of my favorite Super Nintendo games. But yeah, we're going to get treated to the credits, and then we're going to get treated to a little post-credit scene here. But we're going to get him running, and then we're going to get a little cast of the enemies that were on the stages. But, oh man, Mega Man X, man, what a game. Again, I played this game well after it came out. I think probably like, I don't know, maybe 5 years after it came out. And even then, I was well, probably into the span of the Nintendo 64 and PlayStation era. But I remember picking this up and thinking, man, this plays just like Mega Man X4, but it has retro graphics and everything. And I just remember falling in love with it, especially the intro level, and finding out more about Sigma and all that. So you don't really find very much about Sigma other than he was the leader of the Maverick Hunters, which you find that out in Zero's Path and Mega Man X4. But just going back and seeing how it all started, so I kind of got, I guess, a different perspective than what most people have about Mega Man X when this game came out, of course. But the bosses were unique. I really liked them. The weapons, I feel like all the weapons, minus a few, have their place in the game, niches to fill, you know, all that good stuff. And yeah, and it's an amazing series. It's just a shame it stopped after 8. I feel there was only like really 2 bad games in this series, but we're gonna go ahead and spoiler alert. We're gonna continue into Mega Man X2 right away. I'm gonna do that, but yeah, we're gonna continue the fight against the Mavericks and try to find out how we're gonna reassemble Zero, because he is in Mega Man X4. But yeah, and that is us as Mega Man X. But the real credits are gonna roll here with the people who made it. And I gotta figure out what else to say. But the credits music, I gotta say, it kind of reminds me of Mega Man Legends in a way. And that game's also a bit of a sore spot for me, as is with most people, because we haven't gotten our boy Mega Man Volnit off of the moon. But what to talk about? I think my favorite Maverick design in this game, honestly, is probably Storm Eagle. I really like the Eagle designs, or just Eagles in general. And then probably Armored Armadillo, probably second, and then third would probably be Sting Chameleon. But yeah, the game, amazing game. Can't say that enough. I know it probably sounds pretty much like a broken record, and Capcom sure knew how to make old school games, but man, that's the end of it. But I wonder why there's a TV in the background. So on that note, folks, I'll go ahead and let you go, and I'll catch you on the next one on Mega Man X2. Later, and bye. Anytime now. Thank you. Oh no! You have won a temporary victory, X. What you destroyed was only a temporary body. My spirit remains intact. In time, I will find other bodies strong enough to do my bidding, and I will return. I shall see you soon, X. Very soon. But okay, I'm serious on that note. I'll check you guys out in the next one on Mega Man X2. Later and bye.